What's up, beautiful people? Welcome back to DeFi Chronicles. In this video, we're going to be reviewing my favorite cycle, which is the Bitcoin halving cycle. To be honest, I've been looking at a crazy amount of charts, a crazy amount of history around Bitcoin, and what I need is to know how much time I have to invest into the bear market. So right now I'm investing $10 each day into crypto. I'm also planning to create a second portfolio to invest way more than that. So basically I need to have a game plan, how much time I have left into the bear market, when would be the next top to Bitcoin. So I can have a game plan around it. So I still have, let's say, a year to invest so I can cash out at that time. So basically I just need to have the rules, the requirements, everything, the guidelines set up for me to continue DCing, because if I don't have a plan, I am not investing. So I've been looking at it at the Bitcoin halving cycle, and this thing has been working for over 10 years. So what I decided to do is do some charting, get some information around it, and use data, because I am a big data guy. If I can see some correlation between the data, I can maybe predict the future. Not saying it is going to happen 100% of the time, but basically I can have a guideline and say, okay, so this has happened 3, 4, 5 times before. So we might have a chance for it to see if it can happen a 7, 8, 10 times. So let's go straight into it. I've created a chart on TradingView with all the information, with everything that I could gather around the Bitcoin halving. So let's go straight into it so I can show you what I found and what I think of it. So starting off just real quick, if you go into CoinMarketCap or any other watch list website like CoinGecko, you can find that information that Bitcoin currently has a total supply of 19,237 and 262 Bitcoin available, which is 92% of the max supply of 21 million. So basically how it works, every 10 minutes there is a block created on the Bitcoin blockchain. That block has a group of transactions that are validated by Bitcoin miners. That's their work. That's how they get some money. So basically they're validating every transaction, saying, yes, this is a good transaction. We can validate and confirm it is good. So for that, they do receive a fee. That would be their paycheck for working and validating all those transactions. Currently, we are receiving every 10 minutes, 6.25 Bitcoin are created every 10 minutes, and that is distributed between all the miners. Obviously, it depends on the amount of transaction that they've been validating to get more or less than other miners. So cool. So we have 6.25 in mine. The good thing with the Bitcoin halving is that every 4 years, that amount gets cut in half. So that means for the next halving cycle, instead of receiving 6.5, they will start receiving 3.125 Bitcoin. I'm sorry, right now it is 6.25, so next halving cycle would be 3.125 Bitcoin. I took some notes here that I can go over them. As you can see, so we have every transaction, every block, it is every 10 minutes, and Bitcoin is designed to mine 144 blocks per day. It is not 100% accurate, but you can use it as an example, which it is 144 blocks per day. So every 10 minutes, we have the 6.25 Bitcoin, and the next halving will be producing 3.125 with each block. So why this is important? If you think about anything that is expensive, like diamonds, gold, why they're expensive? That is because they're hard to get. I cannot go to my backyard right now and start digging and finding some gold. It is very, very unlikely. You will need some crazy amount of machinery, equipment, workers that can help you with that task. And each year there is way less gold available to mine because we cannot create it. I cannot go to a lab and mix some liquids and create a bar of gold. That doesn't work like that. We need some energy around it to get that gold. So that's the only way we can get it. That's the same thing with Bitcoin. The only way to create more Bitcoin, to get more Bitcoin available, is through energy. So we need to mine it, we need to validate all those transactions, and by then we will receive a fee, our compensation or reward for the work we are doing. So the good thing is that less Bitcoin there is available, less Bitcoin that are being created, with which every 10 minutes, that creates a scarcity around it, because we have more demand for the product and less product to offer. So what happens if I do want it? If I do want it more than you, what I'm gonna do? Invest or offer 5% more than what you are offering. If you want it more than me, you might offer 10% more. So that's how we create higher highs. That's how the Bitcoin price go up and up and up and up. So clear. Basically, the good thing is that every 4 years it gets cut in half and we are receiving less and less. Clear. Now, if we go to the chart here, you can see that the first one was on December 2011. Let me go ahead and expand this a little bit so you can see. So after the first halving cycle, we have 704 days. We have the top at 1,163 with a gain of 24,000%, which is crazy. 24,000% gain from the halving day. Cool. After that, 410 days after the top here, we have the low of 152, which is a drop of 86%. 86%. Cool. Now from that low right here and the day of the halving right here, we have a gain of around 320% from the low, which is this low till here. I can show you. Let's try to be specific so you can see more or less 320, 310, more or less that is the gain right here, 320. Cool, that would be the first cycle. Now let's go into some more information. From the second halving, which was on 2016, July, we can see that, got the information right here, we had a top of $19,666 after 527 days. So after that halving, we had 527 days. We reached the top of 19,666 with a gain of 3,100%. Perfect. Then we have the low, because it is pretty normal. After each top, we need a low. So we had the low, 84%. So you can start seeing the correlation here, 86%. Now we have 84%. That one was 527. And the previous one was 704. So let's look at the low here. 362 days after the top, we reached 3,122. So start seeing the correlation here. 510 days after the top, 362 days after the top. Drop of 86%, drop of 84%. Cool. Now, after that low here to the halving day, we have 180% gain from the low. Look at the previous one, 320, then 180. Good, let's go for it. Next one, which is the last halving cycle that we had before waiting for the next one. We have 554 days from halving, so you can start seeing the correlation, 500 again, $69,000 for the top, which was, I think it was in November. Yeah, November 2021, for a gain of 691%. Good. Now, what would be the low? Around 376 days. Previously, 362 days. Now we have 376 from the top. The low is 15,479 and the drop is 78%. Now, there is that big question that I am asking myself. If previously we had a drop of 86%, next 84%, what would be correct is having a drop to 82% instead of 78%. So if we use that information here from the top, which is 69K, yeah, right on track, 82%, that would be around $12,000. So we could say between 12,300 to 12,500, more or less. Okay, and if you take a look at it on the left part, you can see that it is exactly reaching a support level. So let me go ahead and show you here. So we have right there, we have, nope, Let's see, 12K. We had it here also. I'm really trying to put those levels in. You're understanding. I'm pretty sure you are. So we have 12K here, and we are also having another 12K around here. So if we do drop, we should find support to the 12.5K, which correspond also to 82%. So that's why I am kind of skeptical with the 78% drop. Even though we are within the time frame of 376 right now, should be around 400 days. Maybe we reach it, maybe we're not. So we could use the information of the 300 to 400 days from the top, or we could use the drop of 80%, which would be 82%. So we might stay there at 16 or having the low at 15K, or we might reach the 12.5K as the low. So it really depends on how much FUD we might receive over the next few days, over the next few weeks. But for me, I am 50-50, 15K or 12K. Okay, good. So now, using that information, when is our next halving day? Would be around May the 1st, 2024. You can find that information online. It is on CoinMarketCap. It is on CoinGecko. CoinGecko has a good countdown of the Bitcoin halving. So you can use that as a estimation for the next halving day. So as you can see, we have May the 1st, 2024. That means from today till halving, we have, should be around 500 days. Let's see. Yeah, more or less 500, 598, more or less. So 500 days, that would be a little bit over a year, 1.4, 1.5 years till, which is 2024, May. Now, when would be the next all-time high? We can use that same information again. If we go back to that one, we have 700 days, we have 500 days, then we have 554. If we use an average, I could say around 600 days would be the average, the top average after the halving. So if we add it from May the 1st, 2024, we add 1 year, that is May the 1st, 2025. And if we add half a year, that would be November 2025. Cool. So we can start adding all the information on this side. So the possible all-time high would be on November 2025. Now, how can we know how much it would be by that time, the price of the halving? I do added some information for you here. So let me go ahead and show you. 1.5 years to reach the top, which is the information that we just checked. 554 days, or the average 600 days. Then we have 430% for the next top. How I got that information, let me go ahead and just show you real quick, which is pretty easy. If we check 24,000 and I divide it by 7.6, we have 3,100, which is 3,157. So I'm cool with that number. And if instead of 7.6, I go minus 3, that would be 4.6, right? So let's see, divided into 4.6. Let me go ahead and show you the other top. 691. So right on track, right on track. So again, if we use 4.6, we take 3. Again, we have 1.6. So let me go ahead and type 691% divided into 1.6. That should be the average gain that we should get using the data. Again, this is not 100% correct. This is just some information that I'm using and seeing if there is some correlation around it. So 431, we can see for the next top. And what would be then the price? If we use the date of the halving day, which is 2024, what would be the price? It would be starting that date. If we look at previous data, again, just previous data, we can see we have 320% gain from the low. Then we have 180% from the low. If you go and divide 320 by 2, you have 160. So more or less right on track. If you divided that in 2, again, you have 80%. So let me just use the low that I'm expecting, which is 12.5K. And let's see, 12.5K is, let me just use 12.3. Cool, 12.3, if I add 80%, that is 22.2K, 22.2K, cool. So on the halving day, we could say we would be between $22,000 to $23,000. Cool, no problem. So now if we add the 430% for the next stop, let me go ahead and do it. So let's say starting here, we are at right under 23K, let's say 22.5, and we add 430%. Let's see what would be the price. 430, right on track at 120K, more or less. More or less, 130K, more or less. So if you think about it, what we were expecting last year and this year for Bitcoin, everybody was expecting $100,000. $100,000 was that point, was that target. Of course, we never hit it because all of us, we were expecting that $100,000. A lot of people, just to be safe, started selling just right before that price. So what I'm expecting for the next cycle is that we will have the same target again, $100,000. So if the chart and all the information is showing 120K, so we might see between $100,000 up to 120K for the next cycle. That is the price that I'm expecting. So how I'm going to be using it? For me, what would be the game plan? Basically, I do not invest into project if I don't know what is my game plan. I just don't do it. I cannot do it because I know how hard I work for my money. And if I go and invest $500, $1,000 into a project and I lose it just because I just want to play and bet into something without doing my research, boy, it hurts. It hurts because I work in sales. I get a lot of no's every day. I do have to deal with people, angry people. So I have to clock in many hours to make $500, $1,000, and probably you also. So the first step I do is I go, okay, why I want to invest into that project, into that L2. I ask myself some questions. You can check my YouTube videos, my previous YouTube videos. I do have some reviews on Aurora, on Refinance, on DYDX, so you can see more or less what is my thought process when I'm investigating or researching a project. So I start asking some question why I want to invest into this L2 instead of this L2, instead this other one. So when I do have my whys and I am 100% sure that I want to invest into that project, now I start asking myself, what is my average price? How much money I'm going to be investing into that project? How comfortable I am with investing $500, $1,000, $2,000? Because you could tell yourself that you are comfortable with investing $1,000 and you're comfortable with losing $1,000, but you don't know until you do. If you do lose $1,000, because I've lost $1,000 and it hurts a lot. So now I know that if I do my research, if I do some investigation, and I am 100% sure into that project, I know that I can invest $500, $1,000, and I can live with it. I do know that I cannot live with losing $2,000 into a single project. So after having my whys, now I look at the chart and say, okay, so if the next halving cycle is for 2025 November, how much time I have for investing into that project? I go and check. So from right now, which is December 2021, let's just count it. December 2023, that is 1 year. December 2024, that is 2 years. December 2025, that would be for the next possible all-time high. I have 3 years. So if I calculate that 3 by 12, I know that I have 36 months to invest into the project that I like. I could even multiply that by 4 and say I have 144 weeks to invest into projects. I could even go and multiply that by 7 and say I have 1,000 days to invest into project. If I'm investing $10,000 per day, now I have $10,000 invested into those projects. So now I know based on the data that I am seeing. It might work, it might not work, but I know that I have 36 months to invest into these projects to accumulate as much as I can, and next start cashing out in November 2025. Of course, I'm going to be cashing out way earlier than that. I'm not going to be waiting for 123K. Starting at 95K, 69K, I am cashing out 10%, 5%, 20% till we reach the top. So I am making sure that I am taking some money out, moving some on the side, because we never know. We never know. It might reach $1 million. It might only reach $95,000. So in the end, we are just trying to be safe and having as much information as possible to know how to play the game. Basically, so you can see I have $10,000 invested till 2025. How much money I can make on it? I can just use some simple information here. If I am investing into new protocol, let's say NEAR, and we look at the chart and we say that my average, just to use a number that is simple, just say $1. So my average on NEAR protocol is $1. I am comfortable with investing $500 into NEAR, because if I lose from just one project, I'm just only losing $500. And if the project works, everything goes up, I can go to $20 all-time high. How much is that? $500, which would be 500 NEAR, because I am purchasing at $1. $1 because it is only one. So we multiply that by 20. As you can see, with just $500, I could make $10,000. Here I am not saying that with $300, $500, you're gonna be having $10 million, $1 million. No, but just using some simple numbers, I can tell myself, okay, if this thing goes to $20, I can make 10K. If I lose it, I'm just losing $500, which I can live with it. I am okay with losing 500. If I use the same information, we could use maybe Bitcoin or Ethereum to see the movement that they do every, let's say, 7 days. So you can see the correlation on that. Let me use NEAR, then we have Ethereum. So let's have Bitcoin. Last 7 days, we have 2.36% drop. If we check Ethereum, usually it is double or even triple. So as you can see, 6.87. So tripled that amount. Usually when we look at projects that are way lower than Ethereum, you can then start finding that they move 5 times Bitcoin. So let's look at NEAR, 18%, 19%. So if you take a look at 90%, let's take how much was it on Bitcoin? 2.35. 2.35, multiply that by 6, you have 14%. 2.35 by 8, you have 18%. So right on track. So you could say that when Bitcoin is moving 2%, you could see NEAR protocol moving 18%. So make the comparison here. If Bitcoin reaches $100,000 from 12K, you would have around 10x. If you multiply that by 8, the amount is kind of crazy. It would be 80, which is not something that I'm expecting. So that's why I am using the all-time high instead. What you can see is that when one is moving 2%, the other one, almost running out on battery. One is moving 2%, the other one is moving 6, the next one is moving 18, 12, 20, 25. So basically, this is the gameplay. This is the chart that I am looking at. I'm gonna be leaving a link in the description so you can have access to this and do your information, do your research and use it as you please. Basically, this is my game plan because I've been having some question. What is my thought process before investing? What is my game plan? Before investing, I am looking at the project to know why I am investing, why I like the project. And after that, I have this chart here to have my game plan, how much money I can invest, what is my time frame, how much time I have to invest into it, and when I'm going to be cashing out. So hopefully you like this video. If you do have any other type of strategy that you are currently using, let me know in the comment section. Okay, and also leave a like. I spent countless of hours on this chart to make it, and it is extremely hard to calculate those freaking percentages from here to here and have the correct amount. So leave a like, subscribe, talk to you later. Bye bye.